Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5, Section 24, CCFM 2061, Family Management. Now we're going to talk about communication style that can negatively affect your spouse's feelings. First and foremost, we must know what is the definition of communication, its importance, and how does it plays a major role in a marriage. So, what is the definition of communication? Communication is defined as a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system, sign, or behavior. What is the importance of good communication? Good communication skills are essential to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately and quickly. In contrast, poor communication skills lead to frequent misunderstandings and frustration. So, why good communication is important in a marriage? Communication is important in any relationship, including our marriage with our spouse, as it allows us to effectively share our feelings, opinions, and expectations. Many people fail to communicate due to their fear of rejection or fear that they will end up upsetting their partner. We all must acknowledge that every relationship, such as marriage, will have ups and downs, but a healthy communication style can make it easier to deal with conflict. Meanwhile, a bad communication style can threaten the existence of the relationship itself with poor communication. That can lead to something like unresolved issues. As a preparation before marriage, we must acknowledge the types of communication that can negatively affect our future spouse. To ensure that we can sustain our marriage by communicating effectively, and hopefully we'll fix our communication style beforehand.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to talk about the first point of our topic, which is 10 examples of communication styles that negatively affect our spouse's feeling. First of all, it is wrong to expect our spouse to be a mind reader. In marriage, we are supposed to be open and always communicate with our partner about everything, including our emotions, problems that we are currently facing, daily experience, and also things that our partner does which we do not like. Although these things might seem as small matters and can be handled alone, we will not be aware of how we act according to these situations. We may hurt our spouse's feelings unconsciously because of it. It is understandable if we are feeling stressed due to the problems that we are facing. However, our partner does not know about it unless we share the problems with them. Same goes to when we do not like something that they did. It is not the right thing to just be silent and assume that they know what they did is wrong. They may be unaware that what they are doing is affecting us, since it might be their habits for a very long time. Next is bad choice of words and language. When we speak, we must not choose bad words or unsuitable words according to our situation, because communicating with our partner is the way for us to deliver what is in our mind and what we honestly feel. Most of our communications is delivered through speaking, which is oral communication. Therefore, choice of words play a very big role in our communication, or else what we are trying to convey will not reach the understanding of our partner. For instance, we are trying to ask our partner to help us to do the laundry, which can be simply asked by saying, "May you help me with the laundry?" But instead, we say, "Do the laundry." Both of these sayings carry the same purpose, which is to ask for the help with the laundry, but the emotions and intonation of them are greatly different. The former sounds more persuasive and soft, while the latter sounds demanding and like a command. As a result, our partner may be misunderstood of our intention and feel offended with our speech.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ahmad Rashidi bin Rosli and my metric number is 2017115. So now I will present on the next point of communication style that can negatively affect our spouse feeling. So for the first point is we should do not express on what you really feel. In marriage, we should always be honest with our partner about everything that we really feel deep inside our heart. This is to ensure that there will be two-way communication between our partner and us. On the other hand, we can prevent any conflict that can be caused by dissatisfaction about our partner behavior. For example, if our partner had a bad habit such as smoking, we should be honest with him and told him to stop. This will surely give us benefit in the future. So for the next point is do not listen to your partner thought or feedback. So listening to our spouse feedback and thought is one of the positive communication style that we can practice to take care of their feelings. This will make them feel more appreciated by us because we take into account their opinion when making decision. For example, when it comes to buying something, we should ask our partner whether it is suitable or not. This will surely create a harmony after effect when the thing arrives. On the other hand, we definitely need to listen to other people's judgment, especially people that we trust, because sometimes their judgment is better compared to us. So I think that's all from me. So I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
For the fifth of the points of how not to communicate with your spouse is thinking that only your opinions matter and what the other person says are always wrong. It is common case in households, the husband especially, to always think that they are right as an attempt to cover up shame or some sense of insecurities because he sees that man does not need any help from a woman, or else he is seen as weak, or in Arabic it is called dayus, and therefore he would not consider any criticism or rational justification from his wife, and this violates the right of a partner to give an objection on method or things which she is not satisfied with. This is clearly troublesome a, because a partner in an institution of marriage cannot do all things on his or her own, and each person has their own specialties, some good at this while not others. And because of this, both husband and wife should work together in achieving strong household relationship. Next is about partner who likes nitpicking and bring up the past mistakes, pointing out every little mistakes and flaws that his or her spouse has made. This may mean that the partner doesn't have a sign of respect for his or her spouse. It is a form of belittling. And also, it's making your partner feel embarrassed, like saying you need to change and that you're not good enough, even though he or she may be trying to be better. But those words that you tell them may cause them to lose self-esteem and confidence. This behavior is quite dangerous because it might lead to making false claims, accusing your partner for doing something that he or she did not even do. A problem that can be seen in this society is that some people, when they go called out, they don't want to admit they made a mistake, and sometimes they start to continue bringing up the past conflicts and issues, even though they have promised that they won't do it again. Instead, we should give a lot of compliments and appreciation so that your spouse will feel more secure on top of building trust on you as a soulmate until the end of this life.
The next point is getting too defensive. Getting defensive each time your spouse brings up a hassle is not a common, terrible dating pattern. When your companion tells you something is bothering them, the wholesome manner to reply is, I'm sorry that it is irritating for you. The bad manner is to say, this isn't my fault. It may be smooth to slide in the blame game in which you and your spouse move into an argument, blaming every difference continuously in preference to operating collectively to discover a solution. Even if the alternative individual is at fault, pointing it out while it doesn't assist you to get an answer is a hassle of overconversation in dating. It regularly worsens the situation. The next point is stonewalling. So, what is stonewalling? Stonewalling is refusing to talk to or communicate with the other person, let's say your spouse. Instead of restoration, the couple often experiences complete escalation or abandonment. It often occurs when you're feeling overwhelmed emotionally. So, instead of storming off or shutting down your spouse, try to communicate that you need a break. Take care of yourself and learn to self calm. Ask yourself what your feelings are behind the lack of communication. Once you are ready, you can come back and work toward a mutually satisfactory solution.
On to my point, which is degrading your spouse, which means that, simply means that you put your spouse down when, or encourage them to do something that they like, or if they want to start something and you don't encourage them or give negative comments that will burn their spirits. For example, in a marriage, when your spouse is picking up a new interest such as a hobby or side jobs to do for fun, instead of supporting them, you doubt their skills and put them down and burning their ambitions. This is a bad behavior, and instead of behaving that way, we should support them, or at least if they're doing the wrong thing, we can critique them in a good manner to build them. Next is speaking in superlative. Speaking in superlative is an act of speech that expresses the utmost highest quality, or is simply exaggerating, such as, "Oh, that's the best thing that ever happened," "that you're the best," okay, something like that. It is actually good to exaggerate your spouse, but don't do it excessively and unnecessarily, because at some point our words will be cheap and untrustworthy, and at some point it will make our spouse feel that our words are not genuine, and in long term it will affect them personally, because they will it will be hard for them to believe what we're saying. Is it genuine or is it not? So it is bad to speak superlative frequently.
Bad communication style, which greatly affect our spouse feelings in a negative way, is actually a very serious problem that we need to solve. And I believe that every problems in this world have their own solutions, depending on how we view that things. Failure in conducting effective communications between husband and wife will cause a crack in the relationships. If it is neglected and become worse day after day, it may lead to a bigger crisis. As stated before, there are several examples of communication style that we have to avoid in order to not break our spouse's feelings. As a contrast, here are some initiatives that we can try in order to conduct a good communication with our spouse without causing any negative impacts to their emotions. First and foremost, a married couple must not be too secretive with their partner. They must accept the fact that they are no longer living as an individual, but currently living as a couple. They must share everything that they have in their thoughts and be open about it. For example, any problems that both are facing should be shared, no matter if the spouse can provide any help in order to solve it or not. At least both of them are aware about their partner and will be more understanding toward each other. Hence, the first step to a good interaction is to engage with each other's mind and emotion. Next, we have to listen to understand and not to reply immediately. Every time our spouse talks to us, we need to listen carefully and try to view the speech from their perspective. Sometimes it is their way of expressing their emotion, or they want to have our opinion according to that particular issue. Hence, try to take our time to have a session with our spouse and listen to whatever they want to talk to us. Even a simple conversation can be one of the ways to a lasting relationship. Besides that, we should never speak or communicate while being angry. We have to calm down ourselves first before we want to speak with our partner. Speech during anger mostly comes from the emotion which might contain inappropriate words and language. Therefore, it is important to control our own feelings first before engaging with our spouse. There are several ways to extinguish our anger, such as sitting down, drinking some coffee, while listening to soft music, or as a Muslim, we can listen to the zikr.
So for the conclusion part, it may require intentional effort from you and your spouse to communicate effectively in marriage. And it takes time for two people to get to know one another and establish an understanding of each other and learn how to take care of each other's needs. So for the next conclusion is, it is essential to implement a positive communication style with our partner in our daily life. This is to ensure a healthy relationship between you and your partner. On the other hand, it can also help to prevent any small argument regarding small matter. Every married couple need to be tolerant toward each other to create a strong bond that can hold a marriage, and it is the key toward a happy, stable and long-lasting life. So I think that's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.